Today we're going to paint a guy who's been a lot of things. A hero, a villain, a pretty bad father, brash, impatient, compassionate. He can build droids. An amputee, burned and melted. A force choker of wives and subordinates. A general, Padawan. One time, his life was gambled and bundled with ship parts. He hates sand. Anakin Skywalker. So, like I said, today we're going to be painting Anakin Skywalker from Star Wars Shatterpoint by Atomic Mass Games. Let's do it. So, first thing, we will give this guy a spray of white all over, and then we're going to move over to tan. Now, this is just going to go on his pants here, so in between his tunic and his boots. Then we're going to move over to some terracotta, and this is going to go on his tunic here, his under tunic, because he's got like two things on, so his under tunic. So this part will be under tunic, and the other parts will be over tunic, because we don't know, I don't really know what any of those parts are called. Also, I've said tunic a lot. Then we're going to take some gray, and this is going to go all over his gloves and his over tunic. Then we're going to switch over to some Beasty brown, and this is going to go all over his boots and his belt. Then we're going to switch over to some earth here, and this is going to go all over his hair. And we're going to switch over to some Ishtar Pink, and this is going to go all over his face. So any parts where there's skin showing. So he's got his face here and a little bit of his neck over here. Next, we're going to take some Targor Rage Shade, and this is going to go all over the entire miniature except for his face and his hair and his lightsaber. Then we're going to take some Nazdreg Yellow, and this is going to go all over his hair. Now we're going to move over to Berserker Bloodshade, and this is going all over that face. Make sure this doesn't pool too much. We want it to basically just kind of stain the face. Now we're going to hop back over to the Terracotta for our first highlights here. And we're just going to put this on neat over that first color, you know. We're going to leave the recesses dark and just go towards the most raised areas. Then we're going to add a little bit of khaki into that terracotta, and we're going to do our second highlight on there. So as we do our highlights, we want to leave a little bit of the first layer that we did, and then just slowly pull those highlight layers in. So I chose to use khaki as a highlight color to lighten my colors instead of just straight white. White tends to, I guess, desaturate or wash out the colors quite a bit, and khaki didn't do it as much. Kind of gave me a better transition. And we're going to add in some more khaki there, and we're going to do another highlight. So again, we're just leaving a little bit of what we've done before and just building up those colors. Then we're moving over to some tan, and we are going to do his pants here. Then we're going to add in a little bit of khaki to that tan and do another highlight. Anakin's transition from hero to villain, I don't know. Even now, to this day, I find it a little odd. Like, he wants to save his wife, and then he doesn't, and the Emperor lies to him and is like, oh, you killed your wife. And he knows that's a lie. So instead of being like, well, you're a liar, he then just does whatever the Emperor says. And I get the idea of it is that it's like a romance, really, and like a crazy broken romance, I guess, because he does some pretty awful stuff after that, like stuff that you would say is pretty irredeemable. Of course, the Jedi didn't seem to think so because he's a ghost at the end, but I would say irredeemable. And we're going to take our Beasty brown, and we are going to do his belt and his boots. Same philosophy as the other two colors. We're just going through and highlighting up those raised areas. And you guessed it, we're going to add in a little bit of khaki, lighten it up, and then just go in and do another highlight. Next, we're going to take some sea gray here, and we're going to do some highlights on the overtunic and his gloves. And we're going to add in just a little touch of that khaki, just to lighten it up just a little bit, and we're going to go through and do a second highlight layer. Then we're going to switch over to Earth again, and we're just going to do our first highlight up on his hair. Now take your time with this. Try to keep the actual sculpted hair as best as you can. Just go through and go slow. And we're going to add in a touch of Lilith Yellow here, and we're just going to do a second highlight up on that hair. And we're going to take our Ishtar Pink again, and we're going to do our first highlight up on the face. So all those raised areas, we want to stay away from the recesses as best as we can, and just, again, take our time and go through. And we're going to add in some elf skin tone here, and now we're going to do our second highlight up. And we're going to add in a touch more elf skin tone and do our last highlight. So this will be for the most raised and prominent areas. And like we did on the Ahsoka video, we're taking electric blue and some white. The blue is going to go on the blade of the lightsaber, and then we're going to wet blend in some white near the hilt into the blue. So kind of an easy way to wet blend for this is to put your color on there, and then put your second color on there and take a little bit of water and just kind of try and feather them in together. And it's not going to be perfect, but it gives a pretty good effect. Couldn't think of the word effect. And we're going to take some Gravelord Grey, and this is going to go on the hilt of his lightsaber. And we're going to take some gunmetal here, and this is going to go on just some parts on his belt and also some of the parts on his robotic arm glove. And with that, we'll do the base, and this guy is done. And I am really happy with how he turned out. I really like all the colors have gone together. It's a lot of browns and reddish browns, and then dark colors. Really happy with how he turned out. He's a lot of fun to paint. Just a really cool miniature, cool sculpt, and really worked out the way I wanted it to. What do you guys think? Do you think his fall to darkness made a lot of sense? I mean, it does, and it also seems a little loose to me. Either way, nobody should ever feel bad for Anakin Skywalker. Ever. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. All of the YouTube stuff. You guys have a great day. Now, we're going to hop back over to the Terracotta for our first Terracotta. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. This is barely a sentence that I can continue. It's bad English.